I'm here with my brother from another mother, Asim, to, chat a little bit because we used to do end of the year reviews on the channel. We used to do a live stream every single year. We used to have guests on. We had Eugene from Ginger. We had Yanni from Whispered. We had who else did we had? We had
Giannis from
Giannis
Beast.
from Beast and Black. Yeah, so we used to do those. We stopped doing that during the pandemic because everybody got really down in the pits during that time, and who really wanted to chat? They just wanted to drink and forget about the world. But I thought it was a good time to bring you on the channel to end the year on a positive note and give us an opportunity to really talk and just see each other because it's been a very long time.
Definitely. It has been way long and it's been overdue. We were planning to do that for a while, but we never got to it. Now, finally, we're able to do it. So I'm happy to be here. And it's good to see you, man. Good to be
It's
here
it.
and talk with you. It's been a long time.
You look great, by the way. I think you found the fountain of youth. I don't know where it is, but you found it because you don't look any
Right.
older. I'm looking fatter and older. You looking younger and brighter and jovial. I don't know, dude.
Well, that's a compliment I'll take. I think otherwise, but that's a compliment I'll certainly take. I mean, you're looking fantastic, man. I was going to compliment you right before starting the talk, but we just got into it. So here is my compliment as well. You're looking fresh, man. Definitely.
So before we even talk about everything that's been going on in your life, I don't know if you saw, but I'm coming to Finland next summer in August. I'm going to be in Tampere at the festival there in August. Will I see you during my trip to Finland?
I, I'm very certain that's going to happen. How it can be that we would not be seeing each other if you're in Finland? How
Um,
is that
and I'm
possible?
bringing the whole family. So my wife has never met
Oh,
you.
that's good. Yeah,
So I
that is
think it'll be a
that's
great opportunity.
sure thing, definitely. Because me coming to Canada is, well, hashtag free awesome kind of a vibe still. Hopefully
Still,
that will change sometime soon. But yeah, I mean, that would be fantastic, man. It would be great to see the whole family. And of course, we're gonna be hanging out. There's no question about it.
so let's talk about you and let's start off with something that's positive. I mean, I think everything about
Right.
you this year was positive, but let's start off with the latest thing that was super positive because I know you were really thrilled with it and you're really happy, which was you filling in for Mark with Epica
Yeah.
for a bunch of shows. How was that experience for you?
Just phenomenal. I mean, I've known Epica guys since 70,000 tons of metal because we were on the same cruise, and I got to play actually with Rob, the All-Star Jam that happens the last day of the boat. And since then, we had a very good connection and we had a good time on stage together as well. And later on, when I was doing the Twitch streams, I had this one plan that I want to do all collab kind of a song. And I asked Rob about it, and he was totally down for it. But then for some reason, that song kind of never took off because of some people that wanted to get involved, didn't get involved, and so on. But Rob instead gave me an idea that, hey, I have something cooking. How about would you be interested in it? And of course, it was for the Alchemy Project, the album that they have released, the previous album. And so we started working on the song immediately, and just turned out to be it just worked super fast. And from there on, got to know the guys. They brought me into the studio. Um, we recorded the song just into like I had 2 days session with them, and got major things done. All the vocals down from my end, lead sections down from my end as well, and the whole band kind of recorded the song on the first day already there, and it just became a very good chemistry in between us that I wanted to continue no matter whatever the opportunity comes, however it comes, to be there and do some more collaborative work. And it was quite funny that just a week before I was just thinking about it, that it would be actually nice to, let's say, have the minor played live somewhere, somehow, someday, right? And then I got a text from Rob. I was in bed still. I was just getting up, and I got a text from Rob like, "Hey, something has come up. Would it be possible for you to be on a phone call, let's say, anytime during the day?" And I was just thinking, what if could it be that what I was thinking? And turned out to be it was even bigger than that. They asked me to kind of fill in for Mark, which is pretty awesome because, Mark just became a dad. So that was during that time that he was unable to do the shows, and they asked me over to join in. And it was just, it was fantastic, man. It was just brilliant. I mean, I had about 3.5 weeks to prepare myself for everything, and it was just joy. I mean, it was really fun to learn the songs as well and get on stage with them. And just, I felt at home with those guys. And every moment felt like that we have played together for a very long period of time and we have known each other for a long period of time as well. So, bunch of great people. Certainly, you can call it a band, a unit. I mean, they take care of their crew, they take care of everyone. And it was just such a smooth sailing, like such a smooth sailing time with them. And
So
just
let me ask you this. Are you before they announce the next tour, are you motivating Mark to get a second kid, to go for a second kid?
well, uh, you know, I mean, you know, I wish you all the best for sure. Yeah, that's certainly certainly would be great. But I do believe that it's whatever those guys are doing, that's like some great stuff being cooked right about now for their upcoming album as well. And I'm certain that there would certainly be more opportunities for us to be doing something in the future. There's no doubt about that.
Was there a song on their set list that was a little bit more challenging for you, or within those 3 weeks you were able to nail the whole set pretty easily?
I mean, the thing was like this. So I flew in, we had two rehearsals, and we had the rehearsals without Simone. So kind of sound check was the time that we did the minor the first time as the whole gang, And so that was kind of like very interesting because to have that song done completely in the live setting, because we kind of recorded the song in the sense of that it's the record song, right? To bring it in the live setting is a complete different now scenario. So I would say the minor was slightly interesting on the first show, like for me, as particularly to pull it off correctly with the because I did the solo, I improvised a lot on the record, right? And to get back to it was interesting. So obviously, me playing my own solo, I could do whatever I wanted to do, but I wanted to keep the essence of majority of the things as the main lead melodies that I did in the solos there. And then we extended the solo as well. So those kind of things, doing them at the very last minute were interesting. I wouldn't say challenging is a good word because, it kept us on our feet. But other than that, of course, as I was doing vocals as well during that period of time, the other challenging thing that I can think of was to remember the lyrics as well, on top of remembering everything guitar wise. And probably that is my weak spot, to remember lyrics overall. Even I do that in Damnation Plan as well because we got tons of lyrics anyways. That is my weak spot. So that was the challenging bit. But song wise, it surprised me a lot because I haven't really listened to Epica's music much. And when I had to learn all the songs, there were some amazing stuff going on there. I mean, some great songwriting, some great stuff, great riffs as well, and pretty interestingly complicated parts as well. So it just kept me on ground. It was not all easy breezy, just play a couple of chords around here and there, even though that can be quite difficult as well. But so the learning process was really, really fun. And
For you as a musician, when it comes down to learning like a set like this, like you're going, it's not like you're playing your own music, you're learning a set, you're going in. How does the process work? Are you an ear kind of guy that you play the songs and you need to listen to them and then kind of translate what you're listening into playing the guitar, or does the band provide you with actual, music so that you can follow exactly how the song is played and what you need to do? How is your own process?
Correct. So basically, I was able to get the guitar stems separately as well from there, either from the records or from the live shows as well, that I have a bit of an idea of how things are being played and what are the arrangements and so on, if they have changed something from the original track. So that was definitely helpful. But I had a bit of a different learning process than the other bands that I worked in. So what I did was basically learned the riffs of the guitar separately. Like I would make the sections in the song and I would just learn those sections and then get back to the whole thing as one song to play from the start till the end, and then start memorizing it by listening to the song separately along the way as I go. And after that, I started to check out their live, their live videos as well, that how they have done that throughout like different years and how they have, evolved the song if they have done that, and what are the parts that they are doing differently than the record or things like that. So I started off the way that I mentioned, but eventually I ended up listening more of the live stuff in order to remember some things that have been done. So they give me kind of like a bit of a background that, okay, if I'm on the stage with them, what would be the easy way for me to get into the flow?
You know that there's a lot of guys out there that make a very good living of just filling in. They're like your prototypical guy that fills in on this tour, then it fills in on that tour, it fills in with this band, fills in on that band. Is that a little bit of your personality, or you're more the guy that would like to just be in one project in one band and just completely focus on that? Once in a while, maybe filling in for a friend is a different story, but how do you adjust your way of being with these two different worlds or these two different opportunities?
Well, the fill-in thing is definitely fun and it's nice, but I rather am a one unit person, you know. So I rather want to stick with one band and carry on with the career like that, because then my attention is completely towards that, and I'm able to, concentrate on so many other things as well, which come along the way. Because if I'm involved in something, I want to be involved into it 100%. And if I'm not, I feel kind of left out. And that causes a lot of problems for me. Or it did cause a lot of problems for me in the past as well, anyways. But I think doing the fill-ins, it's nice. I have done that quite sometimes, but it just doesn't define me the way that I would want myself to be defined as, you know. So it's definitely hard to put in, because there's definitely a joy to be filling in and doing your thing and then just taking off, kind of. But and it's challenging, so it keeps you, active. That if you're doing this fill in, then you're doing that, then you're doing this, or you're doing that. I'm already doing that with my bands. I mean, I have at the moment I have currently three bands, so three completely different kinds of music styles. So I'm already doing that. So the fill in thing, it's like, yeah, but you can't like, put your anchor down at one place and then just start building it up from there.
And speaking of fill-ins, I have to ask you about your thoughts on Temo getting the position with Megadeth. What when you heard about the news, what was your first thought?
Well deserved. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I mean, he is a world-class guitar player. There's no question about it. And that, finally he got to that level like that. It's like well deserved. And I'm not surprised that, there was not a second thought put into bringing him on board after the announcement or the departure of Kiko from Megadeth. So, yeah, the first time when I heard it, it was a, amazing news. I was really, really happy about it. I was like, that's cool. I mean, that guy is definitely capable of playing anything that is there on guitar. There's no question about that. And he just fits in well as well with the whole band. I mean, he looks great. The The sound is amazing. Everything is great.
Yeah, he's been getting a lot of compliments from Dave, and for Dave to bring him full time, obviously that speaks volumes to the quality of a guitar player that he is, which I'm not surprised. I
Oh
was
yeah.
surprised that they went for him because I thought maybe he would be a guitar player that, in my opinion, is a little bit under the radar, at least internationally. I'm not talking about in Finland, but internationally, and I don't think he gets his dues. Um, because I think he's way better than what the world out there. Because a lot of people, when they saw him, was like, "Who's this guy?" Like,
Hmm.
they didn't necessarily know who he was. So I don't think he gets his dues. But as you, I was really excited to see him taking that next step, a little bit
Oh
out
yeah.
of the shadows of where he was before into a little bit of a much not a little bit a much brighter and
Oh yeah.
bigger spotlight. So I was really happy for him. And it's interesting that you were doing some fill-ins, he was doing some fill-ins. You guys have some common ground together. So it's nice to see you guys going in these kind of different directions. And that takes me to my next point, which is you're no longer with Winterson. Everybody knows that. I'm not going to ask you exactly what happened because it's none of my business, and I don't think it's anybody's business. I think that it's something that should stay between you guys. If one day you guys want to make it public, that's up to you and Mr. Yari there. But I have to ask you this. I see a lot of bands. I see a lot of bands in the future having. I see a lot of bands having the issues that you guys had. People going in different directions. But then down the road, it's like, hey, you know what? Let's bring the whole gang back together. Would you ever be open to the idea of a reunion somewhere down the line?
Um, why not? Sure. But from my standing point of view, it would be if it is kind of a reunion, then it's ought to be like everybody who has stepped in to do anything with the band should be involved as well. Because kind of like when there was a farewell show of the band that I used to sing for a couple of years, it was called Kiowas. And what happened was that after the original lineup, three of the members left the band, the drummer, the keyboard player, and the singer, and then the new lineup was formed. But then the new lineup was coming to an end as well, and it was decided that it would be like a farewell show for Kiowa, so to speak. And then everybody was invited, so to speak, which was like there were two drum sets on the stage, there were two keyboard sections on the stage, then there were two singers on the stage as well. So kind of like everybody was being part of it. But as when it comes to a reunion, I mean, yeah, for sure. Why not? Would be a great, interesting idea, so to speak. Regarding, in my opinion, I think the reunion sort of aspect should be that as I was not involved in the songwriting section at all, no one else than Yari had been, because Yari is the mastermind of Winter Sun. So it's totally up to him how he wants to take it forward and what he wants to do. So as me being just kind of a member, not really a member, that was another thing as well, which was left unsaid. But I'll be up for it. I mean, sure.
Do you regret anything during that time period? If you could go back in time, would you have done something differently?
No, man. I mean, Winter Sun, hats off to Winter Sun. They have brought me to the map. There's no question. Um, we've been through a lot together. We have done a world tour, so to speak. They have taken me to all the places that I never even thought of going else than music, and they definitely made that happen. So hats off to Yari as well, bringing me on board, believing in me, believing in my skills, and giving me the space and the stage to be able to express myself the way that I wanted. And there's absolutely one thing that I can regret about is that, thanks, Canada.
I know. I totally hear you. I totally hear you. I just find it amazing that that lineup that you guys let's for example look back at the last tour that you guys all did together, which was in 2018, in 2018 in North America, outside of Canada, but you guys were all together for the US shows. It's funny to see from that lineup, you got Temo. working with Megadeth. You got you now working with Epica and working on your own projects. You got Yuka with Nightwish.
Right.
Uh, Eki obviously with Fintroll. Now there's a new band as well with Yuka and him, and Daniel. And it seems like everybody is kind of flexing their creative muscle and going in kind of different directions. As a fan, not as a former member, not as somebody who was on the inside, but as a fan of their music, because I know you were a fan before. You
Oh
told me
yeah.
the story about Vakken, you going there to see them play front row. So, as a fan, do you worry about the future?
Um, in which sense regarding future,
In
like in
terms of, I'm not even talking about, I know this is becoming such an old joke about time too and whatever, but do you worry about the future in terms of, after a while, you start to, there's a lot of music out there, as you know. And if you're not going to get music from one place, you're going to go get music from another place.
sure.
And when you're on a hiatus for a very long time, regardless of what band it is, regardless
Right.
if it's Pantera, Winterson, Tool, it doesn't really matter what band we're talking about. When there's a really long extended hiatus for whatever reason, when a band comes back, the expectations are super high. And you're
Right.
almost, I almost feel like as a band, you're almost setting yourself for failure because the expectations are so high that's impossible for you to meet them. Like it's just impossible because everybody's like, well, if it took you this long for the next record has to be really good. Time doesn't necessarily equal quality. I don't know why people assume that if something takes long, and necessarily it's going to be better. The two are not necessarily correlated with one another. I mean, you could take 20 years to release an album. The album could be absolutely crap. Um, so from a fan standpoint, when you look at the band, when you look at the hiatus, when you look at everybody being involved in other projects, do you think that the band has kind of perhaps lost their ways and it's going to be hard for them to find the path again and be relevant again? Or you think when the next material comes out, people will forget about everything that has happened and everybody will jump back on board?
Okay. The thing is this, that when it comes to music, that band has only one person that makes the music and has the vision of the band, and that's Yari, and he has gone nowhere. So basically, the music remains with him when it comes to the creativity, when it comes to releasing, when it comes to anything else. From a fan's perspective, if I were not in the band, if I were not to have any knowledge of what was happening and what were to come or what is being worked on and so on, of course, I could say that I would be disappointed this way or another. But everybody is disappointed about everything one way or the other, right? I mean, when Tool went into hiatus, that same thing happened. They came back and they came back with a shebang, right? Um, so others going in different directions to do anything else doesn't mean that it's completely now, set for failure, basically. To what I know of, what I knew as well, that yes, Yari was working on some great stuff that was really, really great because I've heard that material as well. So being in that on that ship at that time, no matter how much time it will take, whenever it's being released, it's gonna be great. There's no question about it. In which direction does the band wants to go? That's totally up to Yari to decide, and the fans to either take it or not take it. Because one more important thing about creativity is that if you're just completely relied on what that you are ought to make, that is to be expected by the other people, then you're not doing yourself a favor. Actually, you're just making something that the other people want. So it's not really your essence that's been put up. Some people create things in a day, some people take a year, some people take 2 years, and so on. So everybody has a different time frame in that way, right? Yet again, it doesn't mean that if it was created in one day that it would be completely shit because it didn't take its time, right? The same way that you said, time is quality. No, some people are capable of learning the songs and performing them just in about no time, and some people just could take a lifetime, would not be able to do that, right? So everybody is kind of made differently. But I do not think that the band's direction has put itself for failure or anything like that. It's just as we have so much of negativity that roams around the internet anyways, one way or the other, nobody is left unnoticed in that way, right? So this is the only thing that the band is kind of like getting the backlash off, but nothing else. I mean, I'm pretty sure when the new music comes out, it's going to be fantastic and it's going to be great. But when it comes to other people being busy in the other bands and so on, how would that come about to do some live shows and so on? I have no idea about it. And I'm definitely the wrong person to be saying anything about that because I don't have any business with that at all.
Let me ask you about the new band, the one with Yuka, Eki, Daniel, Tommy from Migraine, also Damnation Plan is on that band doing vocals. Were you surprised when that announcement was made and you see that kind of lineup? Because it's a little bit of the Northern reunion that nobody wanted, but now people are getting it.
Right. No, I knew about that for a very, very long period of time. I can't expose too much about it because, of course, I've known since a long time because Tommy was working with Daniel for a certain time period of time when things were happening and moving forward and all that. So considering that department, I was not surprised at all. And it was just the right time that it just got out, and now it's getting all the attention it deserves. And it's going to be exciting to see what how they're pushing all of that forward.
I must say, I was like, okay, I've been pushing for a Northern reunion for a very long time. When
Right
you
on.
you weren't you weren't in Canada when Winterson was touring, but I was pushing Eki and Yuka to like, come on, guys, I can talk to Petri. Let's get something going. Let's get everybody together. Um, so it's interesting to see that it's almost the reunion, not quite, but almost a reunion, and I think that's going to play a factor. I was really excited when I saw the news because I think it's a great lineup.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Everybody is a world-class musician out in that band, and it's um, it's going to be exciting for sure.
And speaking of a band that you've been a part of, you mentioned Kiwas. They're going to be playing at how you pronounce the festival's name? Sarli Helveti?
Sorry, Helveti.
Ari Helveti. They're going to be performing there. So, any chance you call up your bros and you make like a guest appearance?
Um, I'm not in touch with them in those terms, and I don't know.
I think you should show up in a scooter. Just maybe not. Last time you were on a scooter, they didn't end up well.
Probably, yeah, exactly, exactly. So better not. Well, anyways, you would have to take a ferry to get to the
Oh, that's
festival.
true. You can ride the scooter inside the ferry.
Right. Could make a new technology. I could have my own, water scooter.
That's true too. You could. It's like instead of a jet ski, it's a jet scooter.
Right. So I should patent it out so that, I don't miss the royalties on it.
That is true. That is true. What about True
Because
Cult
when you
Club?
think about it, but nobody has done something like that so far. It could,
It could
I
be
mean,
you.
I'm pretty sure there might be some sort of a technology out there that is being implemented and so on. But, well, water scooter,
Yeah, why
patented.
not? Look at the bright side. If you trip or fall, at least you're landing on water.
Correct. Exactly.
Less chances for an injury. Less. Not saying that there's no chances, but less
Depends on the
chances.
speed that you're going and hitting the water with.
Yeah,
So
the impact on the water. Yes, for sure. True Cult Club. What do you guys been up to?
the thing with True Cult Club has been, I'll be very frank about it. Um, the band was coming out with a shebang, and we were set to rule the world for sure. And we had put so much of effort, energy, time into making all that happen. And the moment we were just boarding on the, so to speak, the spaceship to conquer the universe, the pandemic happened. Personally, to me, that was a huge blow. Like, what the hell? And that kind of disappointed a lot of things. And after that, because of 2020, nothing was anyways happening and nothing could be done. And we are more, drawn towards as a live band. and as not much was happening or we could do anything about, we kind of started to drift away from the idea of like working on anything which we can't even do anything about because the pandemic is around. But during that time, Miro got super busy. I got busy. Miro is the mastermind of True Cult Club as well. And then Rolf obviously plays in Stratovarius, so things just started to go really, really out of our hands in that way that we could just get back together and do something about it. And of course, our keyboard player went on doing a record with James Labrie as well. So things got a little bit tightened in that way. But finally, now after this year, Mito had been quite busy touring with Amorphous as
Hmm.
well.
I saw him in
And
Toronto.
exactly, exactly. So he's been a very, very busy guy. But then again, he has been doing a lot of mixing jobs as well. He has done the Damnation Plan's recent release. He mixed that album. Then he mixed the album of The Circle as well, which is my German band. So he has not just been only doing my projects, my bands, but like a lot of other things as well, other bands that he has mixed and so on. So he got pretty occupied with that world in that way. But then finally, we are bringing the band back, and next year on, we would be working on the material. And hopefully by the summertime, we would be jumping on doing some shows as well and all that. So I'm definitely looking forward to, you know, bringing the True Cult Club's life back into the gameplay.
Well, maybe there will be, hopefully, there would be a show during my visit. I'd love to come and see you guys play.
That would be fantastic, but we never know.
Yeah, we never know. We'll have to wait and see. Speaking of the circle you just mentioned, I've never doubted you as a vocalist. I've always think like to me um, you have a quite the range, and you have quite the warmth in your vocals, specifically more with the clean vocals than the harsh vocals. But
Thank you.
with the circle, man, that's a great vocal performance all around throughout that record.
Oh, thank you very much.
I was like I said, like I know your capabilities, I know you as a singer, but that album still found a way of impressing me even more in terms of what you delivered in it. How was that experience for you?
Um, Pretty interesting one. Actually, I do recall that there were certain techniques on that album that I used that I've never done before. So I challenged myself completely to get out of the comfort zone. Well, in any case, any of the songs that I did with The Circle, I did not, I just pushed myself quite much, which I have not done before, certain techniques in that way. And this time, I recall throwing up blood sometimes as well. So I was like, okay, probably a wrong technique being used, probably a wrong technique being used. Or having the feeling because I was going on a trip to States in April 2021. Or was it 21? Yeah, I believe, or 22. This
Probably
pandemic has caused a little bit of a gap in our mind that we are it's really hard to understand what year was
what
what.
year was what? Yeah, it's probably
Exactly.
22 because I think 21 everything was still on lockdown.
Yes, exactly. So 22, and right before going to the airport, I was still recording. I remember throwing up a little bit, then getting on the plane and finishing the editing of the song, sending it off to the mixing, and so on. So it was a great experience recording that album particularly. And as I mentioned, I ended up doing quite some things which I've never done before. So I really pushed myself. And bringing that to the live setting, that would be very interesting because I would have to get back into the form of doing those things and seeing that how much am I able to push live that way.
Now, is that something that you're going to continue with the circle, or was that a one-off project that you guys released that album together?
Oh no, we have released two albums.
Two
I mean, we
albums,
have
okay.
two albums. The first one, and then this one particularly, and
I didn't know
off
you
of
were
it.
involved. I knew they had a previous album. I didn't know you were involved in the previous record.
Oh yeah, yeah. You guys did the reaction of that one as well.
I completely forgot.
I was not in the video though because that was the
Maybe,
pandemic time and it was
see, maybe
shot in
that's
there,
why. Was that the
right?
very video where I called the guy Young Yardi because it was just him
Yes,
wondering?
exactly.
All right, okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I know you love that comment, so I just
Right. Exactly. And the plan just turned out to be that our record label is very much interested us to do live shows. So they are bringing something around the corner next year. We'll see about how we're gonna pull that one off. And yeah, it just became from a studio project into a band, and now it is for sure a band that wants to do live shows as well and get out there and push ourselves in live setting.
wow, exciting times. So with 2023 almost wrapped up, what are your plans for 2024? How is the next year shaping up for you?
Next year is looking like completely focusing on bringing back True Cult Club, and already the plans are there. The songs are being written for the next Circle album as well. So a lot of things would be happening in that department. I would be pushing forward to do more lessons, vocals, and guitars. I haven't been able to push much of vocal lessons, which I should. For some reason, I have not done that. So I would definitely like to do that, have more students in that department as well. And for sure, I mean, looking forward to whatever. I'm pretty sure 2024 will be a great year as well. But looking forward to getting on the road properly, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
That is something that I would be looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to finally getting a visa or a passport that allows you to come to Canada.
Sure thing. Exactly.
That's
That
what
would
I'm
be
looking forward to. I'm
right.
always the one traveling all the way to Finland to see you. This is going to be
Surely.
my second
Surely.
trip next year to visit you, and you haven't come and visit us yet.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm working on it. Frankly speaking, I'm working on it.
You know you
But
have a
it was,
place here. Anytime if you want
I
to come to Toronto
definitely,
for a week, a month,
I
6 months,
definitely,
whatever the time frame is, you're always going to have a place to stay.
thanks, buddy. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I mean, of course, we've known each other for a quite good amount of time now. I think that was the 2018, uh,
Yeah,
beginning of 2018, we started to know each other.
yeah.
And so, yeah, it would be great to finally come to your homeland, and
Wow, 6 years. We've known each other almost for 6 years.
it's been a
Holy
while.
crap! Where the fuck has time gone? Dude. That's crazy. When you start to think about the numbers,
Yeah.
6 years is a long, long time. Long
Correct.
time. Wow.
Correct. Exactly. And that's why you start eating the years because of the pandemic. Like you just go like, wait, what? Really? Wait, what?
Yeah, the pandemic was just like a black hole in time and space as far as life is concerned.
Correct. Correct. Yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, it did bring me to start doing the Twitch streams and all that. That did help me out to keep myself a little sane. But yeah, the world was a very interesting place during that time.
Yeah, it definitely was. Unfortunately, we there was so many plans for that summer. We had
Yeah.
plans. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
everybody had plans, but I just feel like it was such a shit show because 2020 was shaping up to be such a great year, and then
Right.
that whole thing happened, and yeah, well, you can't cry over spilled milk. What's done,
No,
what's
no.
done is done, and we just got to move forward. That's it.
As I mentioned, like 2020 was the year that, I was really going to push the True Cult Club forward and bring everything about. But then this kind of did bring a little bit of a dent in the whole thing, and it was kind of hard to repair myself from it. But well, I'm over that for sure and getting back into the game now. So looking forward to bringing this whole thing back to light.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the summer in August in Tampere. We're going to be in Helsinki as well, but just for a day or two. We're spending most
Sure.
of our time in. We're switching things around. Last time we were there, we spent more time in Helsinki. Last time in Tampere. This time we're
Right.
switching things around. Plus, we have a
Right.
lot of you and I. We have a lot of friends in Tampere anyway, so it's going to be
Yeah.
some good times. And I'm sure I'll see you. I know my wife is dying to meet you in person. I
Absolutely.
promise you that you don't have to drive us to Lake Bodom this time because I think once we've seen the lake once, we've kind of seen the lake. So like, check
Right.
that box. We're good. We're
Yeah,
good. So,
exactly.
we can do other things that we didn't get to do last time that we were there, but
Oh, yeah.
it's still one of my best vacations, one of the best times I've ever had hanging out with all of you guys in Finland. So I'm looking forward to it again.
It was quite fun. It was really good time spent together. It was short, like for sure, a short period of time, but it was definitely well spent.
Yeah, yeah, we had a great time. We had a great time. Asim, thank you very much for your time. Happy holidays, happy new year. I honestly wish you nothing but the best for 2024. I hope all your dreams come true. I hope you're successful at everything that you put your mind to.
Thank
I mean it. I really wish you nothing but the best all the time, and looking forward to seeing you.
Definitely. Thank you. And wishing you guys a great, successful year as well. I mean, like, I'm really happy to see that the channel has grown from what I remember, and I know how it all started and how it was, and see Antonio as well growing up and, completely. I was just watching one of the very early videos that you guys had, and it just brought a smile on my face, like seeing Antonio as well, just rocking over there and looking at you guys now where you have come after great successful channel, and it's just looking forward to seeing it grow and grow more, man.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. All the best.
All the best to you, buddy, as well.